Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this video, this is the special Saturday upload as part of a collaborative effort I'm involved in. It's the hashtag Give a Scrap Hop, hosted by Angela Schrad over at The Traveling Crafter. The theme of our hop is using up scraps and also trying to use things around the house that might otherwise go into the landfill that could be just trashed instead, but we're trying to make pretty things out of them. We have had a number of fantastic people involved in this collaboration. I am about 2/3 of the way through. This is running through the entire month of April, so we have several more wonderful people that will be sharing videos daily all the way through the end of the month. Just follow the hashtag that is in the title down below in my video description, and Angela has a playlist and you can watch all of the videos at your leisure. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a show and tell because I kept trying to figure out what I was going to show you, and as I've been cleaning up my craft room, you know, and decluttering, I just kept running across things and I was like, well, that would be a good thing to show. That would be a good thing to show. And I have so many ways that I enjoy using scraps. I was also really struggling with an idea, a good idea, kind of, you know, just something that was worthy of showing you, because a lot of these I've already done videos for. But I'm super excited because as I was doing the cleanup and prep for this video, I came up with an idea that I think you guys will really enjoy. It's going to be using something that we all typically have quite literally hanging around the house. But first I want to kind of do a little exploration of what are these items, all of these things that I have made with either fabric or paper scraps. Now, as you know, in the junk journal community, we each kind of have our favorite things to work with, and because I learned to sew when I was 9 years old, I do have a real fondness for incorporating fabric, and one of the things I love about junk journaling and the journal making craft is that you can incorporate the fabric with the paper. So two of my most favorite things, I can combine those along with my stamping and scrapbooking skills and come up with something lovely. So the first thing that I really enjoy doing is taking my scraps and taking the book covers from cute books that I've used in other journals and making little ring-bound journals with them. Now I try to coordinate the papers to the covers, and I have several here that are in process, and I will be sharing, see, I'm going to use packaging here for one of the pages. I will be sharing some more about that in next Wednesday's video, my regularly scheduled video. But this is probably one of my first and most favorite ways to use up the bigger scraps and to make something useful. And they do seem to be fairly popular when I present them in my shop. So that's the first thing. Another example, let's see, I kind of had them divided into paper and fabric, and maybe I'll still stick with that. So let's work through some of the paper examples first. This is a pocket made from a scrap of an envelope. It needs a little tag and it needs some decoration, but for all intents and purposes, it was a scrap of a leftover envelope and scraps of paper used to decorate it. So you can make pockets. These are tags and journal cards. The first one, this was collaged on a paper sack. So I took a whole lot of different kinds of scraps, collaged them on a large paper sack that I had cut to make, you know, a 3.5 foot long piece of paper and just went to town putting scraps down. It was also one of my first attempts at learning how to collage, so it was really valuable practice for me. And then on the back, for the writing space, I used more neutral and plain scraps to create writing space. I cut it all up and made tags and journal cards. This is a different variation of basically doing the same thing. Here's a tag and here's a journal card, and I glued them to, this is a scrap piece of cardstock. This was an index card, I believe. It's pretty thick. I could have, actually I think what I did on this one was I glued it to index card or something, and then I glued down a piece of notebook paper, you know, like you use in school. And then I stitched around each of the individual pieces to give it that kind of a look. And that is one of my other favorite things to do, is to just kind of piece things together to create pretty tags and pockets and just kind of use up all the little scraps. This one here is a pocket literally made from scraps. This was just a cut off the bottom black and tan piece here, and then a scrap of doily, and then a Tim Holtz person. So I can use this in anything really. Let's stick with the paper ones here for a second. Okay, you may have watched me last year when I did several of these Art Deco inspired Starburst cards, and it's an idea from Melina Pylant over at her channel. And you can find this video. I will link this specific video down below, but I will also link my entire playlist for Ephemera, so you can watch how a lot of these things were made. But this was all scraps, and it was so nice to just see them out of my stash, but used up in a way that I liked, and then all the little tiny pieces that were left over just went in the trash. Another good way to use your scraps is to take, when we have those 12-inch strips, and they usually end up, by the time you've trimmed something down, you end up with like a 3 to 4 inch wide strip by 12 inches long, and then you just fold it into like a zigzag. And on these, I stitched around the edge for the detail, but you can also just glue. It looks fine either way, or you can draw your little outline around it, however you like to do. So I have a variety of these. This one has a pocket here and a pocket here, but this one I only did one zig, or maybe one zag, however you however you choose to think of it. Ran out of thread, so I have dark and light gray threads, and on the back I have light blue and dark gray. But I liked that it made a deeper pocket, so if you only want to do one fold, you can make a deeper pocket and use up those strips that we all seem to wind up with at the end of a project. Moving on, more piecing. I like to make the quilted pockets. This is not my original idea. It's been around for a while. And then in the same idea, I ran all of these pieces, because I had a lot of long skinny strips. I ran them all one direction and glued them down. This one I sewed around the individual pieces. This one, I think I sewed it, but then I did sew, but then I glued the backing down after I sewed, and I think on this one I had forgotten that I should do that. So either way, it makes fun ways, little boxes and things to write on the back of the tag. But these were great ways to use up fabric strips and fabric pieces. Another very popular way to use up your scraps is just collage, which I mentioned a minute ago with the paper bag, but this is just, I think this was a cover from a music book. I had several, and often I find myself, I don't know if I have any more in here. Yeah, I find myself kind of putting scraps of similar colors together so that my masterboard actually has kind of a color theme. I don't know, it just helps me to sort through my scraps better and see what I'm using, because when it's all in a pile on my desk, I have trouble just kind of picking that out. I get overwhelmed. This is the same thing, but this, the base for it was just book pages that you lay down and glue together. And then on the other side, you go through and you collage your pieces. And so it made a pretty big sized one. In fact, I do think, oh, you use several layers of the book page. This is an idea from Jovi. So I just folded it up because it's pretty good size, but then I can cut this down. And on this one, I used a variety of music and book page and different size text and colors of paper. So I like that variety. Here's another one with just music. Same kind of thing, it was so big. So this one is actually, I can see that it was a music cover from a music book, but I tried to use mostly plain papers here. This one is like from a page from a book, so it conveniently said notes, so I used it. But this is all music, different sizes of you know, how big the font and the notes are printed on the page, and the different colors, and I just love how they look. And then I decided to break it up a little bit. This is another one with just book page, but I was needing to fill some space, so I put some random pieces there. But once you cut it down, it really doesn't matter. So I do tend to save the fly leaves of the books and things for this purpose, to back tags and to back collage and stuff. Now, then this led me to a couple of other things, and I'll show you here a couple of other ways to collage. This one is all play money, and this one I have on my Ko-fi site. So if you go over to my Ko-fi site, I did make a printable of this if you want to have a background that uses all the pretty colors and play money. It's one of my favorites, so I am looking forward to a project that I can put this in. And again, just notebook papers, plain fly leaves off of books and scraps, and that's the backing on it. This one I was making from scraps of old cookbook pages, and these are all from the Better Homes and Gardens. This one in particular, I like the red titles, and so I liked how the red made little accents. And this one is done on a Land's End catalog. You can kind of see right through here the titles peeking through, but it's just a page from a catalog. I've done that for quite a few. This one, the backing was just pieces of coffee dyed and other random things. Just book page on the front. This is also a Land's End catalog, as is this one, and that's more of the same, more book pages. And then this one I actually did on a piece of scrapbook paper that I didn't like the front of it. It had been coffee dyed, and so I just pieced the fabrics, and I have a plan in mind for this one, but this one you can also find on my Ko-fi site as a printable. So I thought this one and the one with the play money were good options for sharing with you. At the same time I did this one. That one has the backing with the scrapbook paper. This one has a fabric backing, and then you can see through the stitching lines, I just kind of crazy stitched all over it. This one has more decoration. It has lace, it has little bits, it has things like, I think this came off of a tag, like a fabric tag or something. I don't even remember what, but I sewed it on there. Lots of little pieces and strips of lace. And then I had found these little homemade yo-yos at a thrift store, and so I glued some down. So it's not exactly square, but I can use it later as a journal cover, or I can cut it up into more tags and things. I'm getting quite a pile over here. Moving on, more fabric ideas. I'm going to just lay these out, but you can take your strips, your leftover strips, and make fabric ruffles. These three are ones that I just gathered up by hand and sewed them, but sometimes I'll just do a running stitch down the middle and pull it so it has more of a gathered look instead of a layered flat look. It took me a while to figure out how to run these through my machine exactly right so that they would fold up correctly, but now that I've got the hang of it, they do lay flatter in your journals. Making clusters. I have a whole different group of clusters here, different styles. So this one was just stamping on a scrap of fabric, gluing it to another scrap of fabric, and then sewing it down. That's it. That's all I did there. A similar idea, stamping on fabric. Did I sew around the edge? Oh, I did. Teeny tiny stitching right there. I don't know if you can see that. This one is stamping on muslin and then layering it with doily, lace, and other scraps of fabric, and then sewing around the sentiment to kind of frame it. I like when I do them as strips because sometimes they're better on a page. These here I pulled out partly because they're in a different color scheme, so it's nice to look at something different. These are all scraps left over from a project when I did a fall journal. And so it's a mix of papers and fabrics. Then here's a smaller one. I just used a punched shape and layered up some fabric squares, so it's paper and fabric, stapled it, very nice. You can see this is a Bible page. This is scrapbook paper. This was some kind of heavy-duty art paper, thrifted. It was in a pack of thrifted stuff. These bottom three have pages and scraps from an ideals book. So where I used the page in the actual journal, then there were still pretty images, and I liked that. So I just used them as focal points. And again, layering up with papers and fabric pieces. And they were all scraps from that series where I did the journals. And then similar thing here. This one's just plain, so it doesn't have anything on it. but it makes a nice back for the more patterned pieces. And then, so that's all, I need to keep those together because I have to put them away together. This one is a cutoff from an embroidered piece. And then I just very simply just took the piece, the scrap that had the cross stitch on it, backed it on a piece of denim fabric, sewed around the edge, and it's just very simple. So on these that are more plain, I can go back later and add a flower or a sentiment or whatever. And then this one just has a little bit more to it. It's a square of fabric, another square of fabric, and a strip of lace, and I sewed around it. So I don't always sew. It just depends on how much time I have and how much I want to, time I want to spend, and if I want to lug out the machine. So you can see I vary between stapling versus sewing and sometimes just gluing, just depends. Next idea is fabric flips. This is a strip of fabric scrap, just a strip, and I layered it up. I kind of pleated it and then made that the very top decorative edge. So that one, there's sheet. These are scraps from various places, and so are these. Scraps of lace, scraps of fabric, and actually you can see that I use the same green stripe in each one, but it looks completely different based on the color scheme. So fabric flips are a lot of fun. I have dozens of them I need to just start using. And then my last thing here, and this has been around for a while, is to make a snippet roll. Now you can make snippet rolls out of paper, which I forgot to bring you an example, but if you just look up snippet roll or Franken paper, that's also a good one. That's all made with scraps of paper. This one is a fabric one, and again I used lots and lots of little pieces that I had left over, and then I either glued or sewed buttons and other things to decorate it a little bit more. They're great to cut down into pockets, or if you have a narrower one or smaller scraps, then you can just layer them up, these little squares. And what I was using here as my backing on these was an old sheet. So I just made strips and then I sewed them to the old sheet because I didn't really like the sheet, but it has had a lot of uses and it makes great backing for things like this, so you don't have to go buy muslin, just use a strip of cloth that you already have. And then this one I did not make, it was sent to me in a Happy Mail share. This one is all snippets of lace and gauze and fabric, but it has more lace to it and it's in more neutral tones, so I did pull it out because it's a skinnier strip, but it has more neutral colors. Depending on what scraps you have or what colors you use, you can get a completely different look. So I hope that gives you guys some really good ideas. There have been a lot of fantastic ideas in this hop. I'm just going to pile all this up. I'm going to swoosh it away and then I'll be right back and we'll work on our project. Okay, I'm back. Are you ready? This is what we are going to do today. When I said you have something literally hanging around your house, I was meaning a calendar. This is my calendar from last year. I picked this calendar on purpose because of the beautiful images, and they are just gorgeous. So I fully intended to cut these out and use them as tuck spots and things. Isn't that beautiful? But I also have this pocket envelope, whatever you want to call it, that it came in. And so I have been intending to cut out this darling hedgehog, the giant butterfly. You know, I could cut out the mushroom or whatever else I want. However, on the back, as I was cleaning up and looking at it, look, it has the tiny little images for what each month represents. And then I thought, oh my goodness, those are like tea cards. And then I thought, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cut this up because I have been saving it. This is an everyday thing you're going to find around your house is your calendar. And in this instance, the pretty packaging that it came in. I have scraps of coffee dyed manila folder, all kinds of them, which will be the base for the tea card. Then I have scraps of papers hanging around waiting to be used that I think will tie in with these colors. And then I have, because I am a ridiculous human being, but since you all share my affliction, I know you understand, scraps of washi tape that I saved from a Happy Mail swap. What was actually from the our Christmas in July swap last year. And yes, I peeled these off because I didn't have washi tape like this. We're going to use these up today. On the back side are some of those pieces that I used the other day in Wednesday's project. So I'm going to use that up. Scraps of washi tape, scraps of manila folder, scraps cut off of a calendar. And we're going to make something pretty. We're going to make like little faux tea cards. And these will be the tea card. And then we'll make tags to put them on. It's a spin-off of a Tracy Fox idea, which I've been wanting to make, but I've been wanting to cut up this calendar anyway. So, what do I want to do first? First, I want to measure. Look at this old ruler. This is from scrapbooking days, and it's turning yellow because it's so old and plastic. These are 1 5/8 inches wide by about 2 3/8, because of course it couldn't be it couldn't be a nice number, could it? But what I'm thinking is that I will cut these out and then I will back them on tags. And again, these are scraps of manila file folder, so I'm not worried about the little things that may look a little bit different or whatever. I think that gives them character. These are, I think, roughly 3 by 5. Yeah, a little over 3. So it's an index card size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's a little taller. And I'm just going to make some tags. I don't know that I'm going to do all 12 because I don't think we have that much time today. But I'll do some. Now, first thing we want to do is turn them into tag shapes. And I can cut them, or today I just have this little handy dandy Stampin' Up! Corner thingamabob. It's like a corner punch, but it makes that dog-eared corner for tags. And this one, I think I bought it on eBay. I didn't realize it was so small. There's a bigger one. So if you guys find them in the thrift stores, snatch them up. So I think I am going to enjoy that these have a variety of lengths and widths, because I think that's how you find you have more things that work in your journals when you have a variety of sizes. I could be wrong, but like they say on the show, Monk, I don't think so. That's the theme song. I could be wrong now, but I don't think so. Any of you guys watch that show, Monk? I love that show. We're going to want to cover that side, so I want that to show. It's also a good idea to double check both sides, because since these are file folders, they could have writing or whatever, and I want to make sure that, for instance, I want to decorate the more plain side, or the side that has something to cover up, than the side that has all the beautiful coffee dye sprays on it. So sometimes I do forget to double check these things, and then I rue it. I'm very sad later because I realized there's something on the back I didn't want. Now, I don't have tea cards. This one I'm going to round because this has a round edge right there. I don't have tea cards. Those are not something that are readily available in my area, and so without ordering some online, that's just not something I have. But there are a lot of videos out there on how to make your own faux tea cards, and so that's what made me think of this when I saw these images on the back of the calendar. So let me get to cutting, and then I will be right back to put all this together. All right, I got these all cut out. Then I decided while I was off camera, you don't need to watch me glue, so I glued up 3 of these. And then we'll just glue the last one together. These 2, I just did a solid back, and then this one, I used 2 different strips of paper and tore this edge so that it overlapped and looks pretty. And I tried to pick some of these scraps that look like they would coordinate here. So let me glue this up really fast then. Why do I always say that? Really fast. What's the hurry? Enjoy the process. Okay. I guess the only hurry is the clock. And also, the tree people haven't called me back yet. Apparently, they tried to call me the other day while I was recording. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I don't have it on Do Not Disturb right now. On the off chance, they might try and call me again. So, in case they do and the phone rings, we'll hang up real quick and get them scheduled and then get back to it. Let's see, now I've had... That needs to scoot over. If you guys have any questions about what kind of glue and stuff I'm using, or any other supplies, just ask me down below and I will answer. You know, when I was first starting, the reason I'm saying this is because you don't need to watch me glue, but also when I was first getting back into this craft and coming from a scrapbooking background where everything needed to be acid-free, I wasn't sure about glue. I had to experiment with a lot of glues. And of course, there's always the consideration of what's available in your area versus what's not. So I just found a lot of value in knowing what people were using. So that's why I say that now. I need to trim this down. But before I do that, I wanted to say, after I cut up the cover, or at least the back half of it, because I'm in decluttering mode and trying to not save every little everything anymore, I'm only keeping a couple of pieces from the cover because they are pretty. The rest of it's going in the recycling, just that back half. The front half I still need to cut the little images out of first. But there's still this and this here that I wanted to use. So I just grabbed out a couple paper punches, and so I can... Let's see, I'm trying to capture the butterfly here. I can still use these as ephemera embellishments. I mean, this one's not big enough. That actually might have to be what we do because the oval is just a little too wide. I'm trying to not get the black border in there. Okay, I'm gonna push, the camera's gonna shake. Oh, goodness. And then on this one, I have my round scallop punch. We're just gonna punch those out, and now those become embellishments. So this here is kind of the weight of like a greeting card. Now, if that hadn't eaten into here, I probably would have maybe cut out around this too, but it did, so. We're not gonna worry about it. There are lots of lovely scraps in the world, but I thought we could decorate up these two as well. I don't know if we'll use those or not, but we'll leave them out. And then I trimmed down a couple of the tags to make them just a little bit shorter. And so if you wanted to, you could stamp on these scraps, something like this. I have a video where I've done that, and I've got tons of stamped scraps, so mine are going in the trash. Now let me trim around this really fast with my paper trimmer. I'll be right back. I realized that by doing that I have to repunch all of this, so repunch the corners. That's okay. Really hoping I put that on the right direction. There we go. And corner rounder. There we go. Isn't that pretty? He might be upside down. It's really hard to tell, but that's all right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got these here. I'm gonna scoot these out of the way really fast. And let's see which ones match, which ones go with which. And then just like that, we have some beautiful tags that look like they have journal card or tea cards on them. I had a scrap that would have looked really pretty with this fox, but these were too tall for that scrap, so I'm gonna wait on him. But here's little bunnies. Where do they look the best? That is the good question. Here's an owl. The wise old owl. He could go on the corks, couldn't he? See, I want somebody to go on this green. Let's see, what have we got here? Line up my playing cards. I was never good at playing cards, so they're gonna just fall. Those probably know. Oh, here's a yellow one. I just want to see who does it look best on. I'm gonna use him on the green. And this has a touch of blue, so does this one. But there is blue back there in the background. And actually, he looks a little bit like the birds that are there. Okay, so we've got those matched up. Now, let's put something pretty under them for layering. And you may even recognize some of these scraps because we just used them this week and in the last couple of weeks. So. But after today, if they're not used up, they get to go. See, even this one. I don't know that the poppy, if I'd had a different, oh, I missed one. No, negatory. But I have this, although I think he's gonna end up getting like book page or something under it. But this is now going to cover up part of that flower, but that's okay. We're just getting the idea, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay, well, what does that one want? I like that pop on there. There's a butterfly. Actually, I'm angling them. I love to do angles. Angles are my life. You know, I don't, nope. I like that on there better. Hold on, I'm having a thought. Hold on, it hurts. The water and this background kind of map. I'm gonna put the bunny over here. I like that. Okay, okay. And I think one of these two is gonna go there. Who's gonna go? Mr. Cardinal. I wish we had cardinals here. We don't. It's not the right kind of climate, which is sad. Okay, so I really think neutrals under that are gonna look the best. So let's start putting down some neutrally stuff. Not under there though. Let's do that. I don't think that one's quite in the right style for what I want. Let's see, what else do I have over here? I have this. This was just, again, out of an old church bulletin, but would it... Let's see. Why not? Would that look okay? It's too yellow. That's all right. This shade of map. It's too matchy-matchy. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and just match so I can speed up the camera here. This would be a good time to mention who I'm tagging in this hop. I'm tagging Stefani at Coffee Paper Scissors, Lara at Lara Craftwell with Art, and Diane Shaw at My Old Barn Door. I hope that you three are able to join in on this hop and create something cool with scraps and items around your house. If not, that's okay, but I just wanted to let you know that I give a scrap about all of you. Okay, I've got little bits all matched up with each of these. I don't have my tear ruler over here. Oh, forgot this guy. I don't have my tear ruler over here, and so I'm doing it by hand. I wish I did, but I cleaned it up off my table. Now, I picked on this one, I had this side down, but I picked this side because there's more of the words. So that's why I did that. And I'm wondering if I can use another piece of this for this guy. Yeah, he could probably still use a pop of color under there. Oh, I know. I have some little tiny leaves. Where did they go? I was using them the other day, or I was putting them away actually the other day. So if I can find those, that'd be awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to give him a piece of that. Or does the gray look better? I think the creamy one pops better. So, oh, there are two. I did that last time too, I think. Well, now's my opportunity. Is that what I want? I'm going to look at him through your view. No, the gray is not right. It definitely needs the cream. Now, I had this piece. This piece tears like butter. I had to be very careful because it's an old law book. So, there we go. There we go. It doesn't always have to be an exact square, does it? This one, I'm not digging how that turned out. And in fact, maybe I don't want it quite so jiggy-jaggy. I don't know if it will tear with this. It might. Let's see. A little bit neater would be good. It's too raggedy. Uh-oh. Yep, okay. And then I'll try to tear straighter that direction. Okay, that'll do. This is a really old scrap. I have no idea where I got it from. Ages and ages ago. I still don't like it, and I don't have my deckle edge scissors either. Okay. So I will, and then we'll do that. Sorry about that. It was a little extra more than we needed to do, but a little extra time taken that we probably shouldn't have. There we go, but it looks so much better. Now, I was looking for those leaves. All right, I've got them. And then there were a couple of teeny tiny tags. So I just brought those over because you never know. But that is what this guy, that's what he's gonna need. These were just in a grouping of stuff from the thrift store. So I couldn't tell you what brand. They have a nice feel to them though. Really nice. Okay, we're gonna do something like that. And then this guy. I have this that could maybe go under here. I guess he's technically a moth. Look at his furry antennae. And if I had berries, that'd be so cool. I don't have a little pop of red. Maybe it'll turn up in the label. Now, glue. These are very quick and easy to put together. Okay, I'm gonna glue the center here because I may want to layer something else up with that moth. And I want everything to be able to slide under the corners. Okie doke. There we go. That's the last one. My poor little piece of law book ripped. It's so delicate. It's very, very dry and brittle, but it's like soft too. It's like butter, literally like butter. And until you've torn apart a page like that, it's hard to know what that really means. But it's great. Okay, so here we go. Now, I am leaving this. I think I said that, but I'm only glued the middle here so that I can tuck things up under there, not knowing what I want to layer underneath this moth. However, I also forgot that I was going to put things on angles, so only one of them wound up on an angle. Whoops. And then I moved this too far over that way. I meant to put it a little more that way, so you see all the threes, but maybe he's just going to have some kind of like little arrangement or something like that. It's actually not half bad, except it's a leaf instead of a berry. All right, now I have labels. Sorry, that was loud. Labels that I stamped on all kinds of things, playing around with my stamps, and we should see which, if any of these, work. I was actually thinking he might benefit from, they might be too big, we'll see. Here's some red. And it just looks like I'm trying to patch something. That might work. I do rather like the lines on this. That's why I did them like that. This is from an address book, so it already had the lines on it, so I was trying to stamp in keeping with the design of the lines. That blends in too much. I like this one a lot. That one can go there. I'm trying to think, where are all my little words I stamped? I think they're in another spot. Let's see, okay, I need to find my words. All those word labels I stamped, but while I'm going through here, I think this one will work. I think this one's from the Junk Journal Studio. Got some nice orange on it. Yeah, well, that was a bust. Maybe not, we got a couple. But these were all stamped on scraps of paper and things. This one was from a kit that was sent to me. Oh. And then some of them were cut out from the Junk Journal Studio, but these are the ones that are bigger, and quite a few of them I stamped. No, that red is just a little too much, I'm afraid. There's a nice sedate looking, I can line it up, it'll be all symmetrical on that one. I'm going to keep that one out for now, because it's the best one I've found. Unless I want a bigger one. I don't think I do, it's not in the right scale, so. There's this one. I'd have to go that way. Okay, putting these away. Here we go. Whoops. Here's a bunch of these little words that I stamped at one point. Aspire. The bunny aspires to eat the strawberry. Lucky. No. Also done in a video. How about, oh, this one's green. Memories. This bunny is going to have fond memories of collecting strawberries with its little kit. See, got a little baby bunny there. I do rather like that. I can tear that down a bit more. Oh, I definitely did a lot of them that said memories because it's so versatile. I've already got, see, if I've already got words in the background, then a sentiment doesn't really make sense. Let's see what I got. See, here's stamping on scraps, more examples of scraps. Scrap of a file folder, scrap of a file folder. What's this one say? File. Go down here and see what I can find that's little. Oh, that one says love. That's pretty. Confidential. Confidentially. Maybe he's got a secret. Okay. Journey. Oh, that one got all. That one's blurry. It's gotta go. Bye, guy. Oh, here's another one. Actually, if I was gonna do that, I'd probably do it on this one. And what am I actually looking for now? Okay, the butterfly. Field note, that's very large. How about a door? How about a green one? Do I have any more in green? I thought I had some little ones that said field note. I have numbers too. Problem areas. Nope. This one is just a generic one. I could use the December one, but it doesn't make sense that we would have a butterfly in December. Here's a 57. Well, maybe the butterfly will aspire. Let's see, let's bring him over here. Aspire to be, this moth aspires to be a butterfly. He's hopeful. Sorry. He's also dreaming big. Okay, I'll stop. The rest of their lives. Well, I'm not finding a word for that one. Not finding a label either. Oh, phooey. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to do about the butterfly, but I've got the moth, so I'll glue him down, and then maybe another time I will find just the right little word. Although I could still use aspire, couldn't I? Simplify, that is much too big. Oh, looks kind of cool right there. Simplify your tag. Okay, let's get on it. So I do think they should have a little bit of ink. A little bit of ink so that they stand out from the page. Now, where's my ink dauber? I feel like I'm everywhere right at the moment. All right. So maybe, okay, everybody scoot out of the way. I got too many things in my vision here that are distracting. Okay. I liked that there. Need to know, does that look good there, or should it be layered? Should it be layered? Is that too much layering? Still liking that there. I think we've almost got it. Almost got it. There we go. There we go. Okay, gonna whip out the glue. I'll glue this one first so it's in the right spot, and then it goes underneath, so I'll glue it down first. And then kind of we have all of the parts touching. So they all look like they are one cohesive unit. At least to me. Maybe not to you, but they do to me. Okay, so these were just things I stamped on scraps, or scraps that I cut out of things. So lots of ways to use up your scraps. And while I'm talking, please, if you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up. And check out the other people who are making things. Okay, my naughty phone shut off again. I don't know what you just saw, but I'll show you here again at the end. I think maybe what is happening, although I don't have anything silenced, maybe when people are calling from the other side, this has not been a problem before, so it hasn't usually shut off before, but maybe when I'm getting texts and stuff, maybe I am still in work mode. I meant to turn it off. Thought I did. I'm gonna put that up there. Put this right here. I should lay that one down first because it needs to be straight. Keeping an eye on you, buddy. Thing is I look at it and it's going, and then the next thing I know, I glance up and it's not. My husband did remind me though, because this phone I got when he started his current job, and they gave him a cell phone, and so this cell phone was practically new because he had just gone in the swimming pool with his old cell phone in his pocket. And so we ended up having to buy a replacement, and then he got that job a few months later. So technically this phone is only, we got it in 2019. But then his work just upgraded his other phone, so we basically have one just sitting around waiting to be used. So I said, well, is it gonna start doing the same stuff this one's doing? Because this one I think was an iPhone 8, and the one that he just was using was an iPhone 11. And then now I don't know what he's got, whatever the newer one is. I don't know, I don't keep up with this stuff. Should he go simplify it all the way down the edge? I don't know. I'd love to use that, but I just don't think that's the right thing. However, we need to do that, and then I'm gonna put lids on because everything's dried out. I took a minute to re-ink some inkers earlier, and I have ink on my fingers and ink on my table. Okay, well, I was going to try to use this up, but that didn't happen. Maybe it's like decided it doesn't want to film longer than 30 minutes. Maybe. Nah, the other day it went longer though. Let's do this. It needed something. They're kind of flat. Not a lot of texture to them, but oh well. C'est la vie. Once again, thank you, Angela, for including me in the swap. Not a swap, it's a hop. Keep calling it the wrong thing. Let's see, I think, let's see, what are my color choices? I want this one and this one because they look like that one. But they need to go in a way, and then I want to stick them basically under this label. I want them, okay, so let's glue that one there. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm glad I had this idea because it got me all fired up. I was really struggling. I was gonna do maybe like, oops, packaging, decorating packaging as tags and things, but I could still, and I mean, now I'm fired up about that idea too, but then I saw this and I was like, oh no, this is good. And also I just, didn't want to run the risk because I'm filming this a couple days ahead of when it's going to air. I just wanted to be sure that it didn't end up being a duplicate of somebody else's video, which is a very real possibility when you end up filming ahead. So I have linked below everybody that is involved in the swap, and you can go check out their channels and see what they're doing. But also the easiest way is probably to go over to Angela's channel, to her homepage, and then click on her playlists, and maybe I should just link the playlist. I could link Angela's playlist. That might be easier for you. That's not in the right spot. Not gonna like it if it doesn't work. It could be that this art glitter glue and these paper leaves don't like each other. That would be sad. You guys need to get along. There's no reason for disharmony. I have to clamp it. I don't have a clamp either. I just have that paper clip. So we're gonna paper clip it for a sec. You guys play nicely. And then what I can do is put another one like up here. Is it all too much on the same side? Should we go the other way? That's got me all paranoid that my camera's gonna shut off, but I'm glad I caught it. Let's do the lighter one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I've got kind of a naturey, fall, mannish, whatever you want to use it for. I like to decorate in different color schemes because I like to use different colors when I create. Maybe this is why this person got rid of them, because they couldn't glue them. Now, the other thing is I'm using art glitter glue, and it could just be that it's not the right kind of glue. So if, after we get this all done, if it's not quite right, I'll just switch up glues, but at least you can get the idea of what we're doing here. There we go. So let's do our summation. The wrap up, the summary, all of the things. We used our packaging. I mean, it's a different way of using packaging, but I used my package, made some ephemera, not ephemera, but embellishments, and then created journal cards from them and scraps of file folder. So they don't, like I said, they're kind of flat. They don't have a lot of dimension to them, but they should be able to slide into a pocket really easily, and it was a nice way to just use these images because they're just so pretty. It's you saw the calendar, so I don't need to go into that. And I'm sorry, you have to look at that with the paper clips on it, but oh well, it is what it is. Yeah, so just bust out those scraps, and whatever you don't use, if you're sick of looking at them, I give you permission to throw them away unless they're really big. But littler scraps, it's okay to let them go. I mean, that's literally the point of a scrap. So have a lovely day. Check me out again on Wednesday, my regular upload day. And until next time, be inspired and do something creative today. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye now.